Baba gives us the knowledge that now it is time to go home. And when I give courses to, new children of Baba, then when they listen to this knowledge that now this body and this old world is going to perish and a new world is going to come. So then the first question they ask is, when is that going to happen? And then, people say that yes, if it is the time to leave the body, we will leave the body and we will go take a new body. But Baba says that before you leave the body, you have to die alive. If we had to just leave the body when it's time to leave the body, then why is Baba coming and telling us that now it's going to be time to leave the body? Because Baba says, before everybody goes back, we need to be pure. And before it's time to leave the body, I have to make sure that I am pure. And for that, I have to learn how to die while living in this body. And Baba says, Baba teaches us the art of dying alive. And I have to die alive and then become ready to go back home after becoming pure. Now, what does dying alive mean? Dying alive means becoming soul conscious, because the soul is immortal and the body and everything around me, the relationships and all that I see with these two eyes is perishable. So what it means to be dying alive is that I totally withdraw my intellect, my heart, my attachment from all that is going to perish, and sit in soul consciousness, because everything is going to die. Yes, the body is going to perish, everything that's going to perish. While living in this body, I rise above the awareness of all that is perishable, and then just sit in the awareness of I, the soul that is immortal. That is called dying alive. And you see what happens when somebody dies. So the soul is still there. It's just that which was, everything that the soul could perceive through the eyes, that which the soul called I and mine, they don't continue to exist in their current form. That is what happens when somebody dies. So Baba says, dying alive means you are with everything, you are in the body, but you are in complete soul consciousness, and you know that you are just you. You are not in a package with the body and the relationships and everything else. You separate your consciousness of yourself from everything that you have and that you do in this life. And Baba says, this is the important practice that we have to do to die alive or to train to be soul conscious, because only when the soul is soul conscious does the soul remember Baba, because the Baba is the father of the soul. Baba is not the father of the body. Baba is the father of the soul. Baba is the teacher of the soul. So when I'm soul conscious, I remember Baba, I remember the Supreme Teacher. Because when I am in soul conscious, then I am not confused or distracted by this body and this bodily world. And then I have absolute clarity that I am a soul and my whole business is with Baba. My everything that I get, have, my relationships, everything is with Baba. And only in that awareness of soul consciousness can I have yoga with Baba. And Baba is the purifier. So when I am in soul consciousness, I remember Baba, then Baba gives me the light and might to burn my sins. And then when my sins are burnt, I become pure and I get ready to go to that new world. The first, I go to my soul world, my home, which is a pure world, and then I go to the new world of heaven, which is again a pure world. So Baba says, before it's time to go, you have to get ready to go. And what is the readiness to go? So when I am in my pure state, I'm ready to go. And for that, I have to die alive, become soul conscious and remember Baba, so that I become pure. Now Baba says that this is not something that will happen easily. It requires a lot of practice, because I, the soul, have been, enmeshed. My consciousness, my awareness, my intellect's yoga has been enmeshed in this, in this body and the physical world for the last 63 births. And just think about, before Gyan, was there even 1 second that you spent not thinking about this body or bodily relations or the bodily world? So we have been, my mind and intellect have been tuned, and tuned like what? Tuned like a great enmeshment, it's like all messed up with this body and the physical world. And I have not looked at myself as a separate entity from this body and physical world and relations for the last 63 births. So it requires great practice to see myself. And if just think about, when all the ropes are, tied up with each other and they are all in a clot, and then you want to separate one from the rest, it becomes so difficult. You can't even see where it's, where it's, where it is enmeshed in all of that. And Baba says that for 63 births, I have not separated myself, even in thought, from everything that's around me, everything that I can see through the eyes. So it requires practice. And every day I have to get up in the morning, and what is the first thing, Baba says, what is the sign of a good effort maker? So good effort makers, children of Baba who are really interested in making the effort that Baba is asking us to make, to become soul conscious, remember Baba and become pure. Children of Baba who are really interested in making that effort, what is the ideal time to practice that? Early in the morning, in Amrit Vela. And in Amrit Vela, I have to practice, I have to try to see myself as a separate entity from the body and the physical world. Do you practice that? Yes? Do you try to do that? And just think about, when you try to do that, then questions like this will arise in your mind. What kind of questions? So, what do I actually feel when I'm soul conscious? Or, how do I arrive at soul consciousness? So, I don't know what is the experience of soul consciousness. So, the experience of soul consciousness, according to what I have experimented with, is absolute detachment and peace. So, when you think about yourself as a soul and you see this body and the whole world is made of the 5 elements of nature, and the soul is not one of those 5 elements. And when the soul is not one of those 5 elements, then none of the 5 elements have any power over me. I am a soul, I am a being of light. And you see, in the Gita it is said that water cannot touch the soul, fire cannot burn the soul, or air cannot touch the soul. So the 5 elements of nature can't touch me. And whatever happens in the world happens to the 5 elements, and it has no impact on me. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot pull my intellect. I am a soul and I can remain absolutely detached and stable in whatever conditions are around me. Even this body is made of 5 elements, and I am a soul, I am not made of 5 elements. So whatever happens to the body happens to the body, it doesn't happen to me. And you see, that's why when somebody dies, what is the sign of death? So, when somebody dies, then you slap the face. Does the person get insulted? No. You pull the ear, you scream, you shout, you cry, you wail. Nothing happens to the soul. Why? Because when the soul leaves the body, then it is no more attached to the 5 elements of nature. And that is why whatever happens in these 5 elements doesn't affect the soul. So when I am in soul consciousness, when I practice that I am not part of the 5 elements, I am just a tiny star of light, the 6th element. And none of these 5 elements can touch me, reach to me. Then I stabilize myself in soul consciousness in an absolute lotus-like state. Just like, the lotus is not touched by the water it is in. Similarly, nothing in this world is able to touch me, get to me, or, affect me mentally. And this is the state of soul consciousness. And then, what do I feel inside? What is my inherent quality? So my inherent quality is silence and peace. So I am undisturbed by the noise outside. I am undisturbed by the chaos outside. There is no impact of the chaos. There is no impact of the noise. So beyond the noise, beyond the chaos, I am in silence and in peace. And I usually like to experience soul consciousness in 3 words: stillness, silence, and peace. So you see, this world is a world of movement, but the soul is not moving. The soul is just still in its place. The soul is absolutely silent, no sound. No sound of the environment reaches the soul. And the chaos of the world. So you see, in the world, everything is changing all the time. There is uncertainty, there is chaos. But in the soul, there is no chaos because my quality is peace. So when I sit in soul consciousness, I practice detachment, stillness, silence, and peace. And when you do that, then in that state of soul consciousness, you can only think about Baba and you feel, and when I sit in soul consciousness, then I visualize or I feel that my heart is open only upwards. So, when I'm in body consciousness, my heart is open outwards. So, every which way, everything is flowing into my heart from this world, from this perishable and chaotic world. But when I am in soul consciousness, my heart is only open upwards towards Baba. And then the light and the might and the love and the purity and the power from Baba is entering my heart. And when I draw that into myself, then all the qualities, the purity, the love, the bliss, the power, everything is being, I'm being colored by that. And I become my whole perfect self. So the soul in soul consciousness is just peaceful. But when I stay in Baba's remembrance, I become pure, I become loveful, I become joyful, I become powerful, and I become that whole complete self which is ready to go back to that world where I'm full in all my qualities. So Baba says that you have to practice this. And then you see, in the Gita we heard that, this whole world is dead. Ye sab mare pade hain. Yes, and how many times, before Gyan also, we have heard this expression that ye sab mare pade hain. But then we thought that because everybody is dead, so then I have the right to kill them. So that's what we understood from the interpretation of the Gita that was given to us, that because Arjuna understood that everybody is dead, so it was okay to take the bow and arrow and kill everybody. But Baba says, no, that's not the meaning of everybody is dead, because everybody is dead is something you understand from the buddhi, that death is very near and all that you are seeing with the two eyes is going to perish tomorrow. Now it's not your duty to make the living dead. You don't have to take the bow and arrow and kill everybody because they are already dead. No. Baba says, I give you the knowledge that everything that you see through these eyes is going to just, vanish in 1 second. And that is why you have to kill your attachment from everything. This knowledge that everything that you see is not going to be there, it's going to go away in a whiff. When you internalize this knowledge, then you are in everything, but you know that it's going to just change in a second. And then you are not attached to its present form. And Baba says, can you be attached to a corpse? You cannot be attached to a corpse. So you cannot be attached to a corpse, and this whole world is going to turn into a graveyard, and you can see it through knowledge that it's not far away. So I'm not I don't want to be attached to this world which is going to turn into a graveyard or into, a world of corpses. And Baba says, I detach myself and then I just be with Baba, with the one I have an eternal relationship with. And I'll tell you one experience in this regard when we are talking about death and dying alive. So, I once met this brother and he was terminally ill and he was almost waiting for his time to come and for him to leave the body. And then I asked him, would you like to share something about your thoughts and feelings at this time? And then he said, I suddenly feel that, nobody belongs to anybody. And we live this life in an illusion that, this is my child, my wife, my this, my that. But here I am going alone. And I am not saying that my family is not taking care of me. My family is taking very good care of me. And I am being given the best treatment. But I know that I'm leaving. And suddenly I feel that, we basically don't have any relationship with each other. So when it's time to leave, you just leave alone. And everybody, is on their own. And nobody goes with anybody. People can cry behind you, but they don't go with you. So when I heard that, you see, when you understand that it's time for you to leave the body also, then you may, at first there'll be shock, grief, whatever stages you go through. But then ultimately, what do you understand? You understand that when you go alone. And then you only remember the one you go with. You don't remember anybody else. So it's just that we live in this illusion that I'm going to stay, I'm not going to go. That's why you are so attached to everything around you. But once this knowledge that it's time to go, this sits in my buddhi, then I understand that I'm not going to be with any of this that I see through the eyes anymore. And I just have to go with one Baba. So then, I become very detached. In soul consciousness, when you die alive, you're very detached from everything outside. And then you just know that my only concern is to be pure before I go back. So I have to remember Baba so much that I burn all my sins before I go back. So this is what Baba is directing us to do today. And then Baba today says that Baba today gives us the knowledge about what he does and what he doesn't do. So in the world, people believe that, God can end somebody's suffering. But Baba says, no, your suffering is your karmic settlement. I have come to give you the knowledge and the power. I have come to give you the method and the power to end your own suffering. But I cannot do it for you. And if you keep suffering and calling out that God come and relieve me of the suffering, God will not do it on your behalf. And Baba says, it is you who has to settle your own karmic accounts. Take knowledge, take power from me and settle your own karmic accounts. And Baba gives the example of Brahma Baba, that Brahma Baba is so dear to Shiv Baba. And Brahma Baba is Shiv Baba's, corporeal instrument. But still, when Brahma Baba coughs or has some physical illness and then asks Shiv Baba that why don't you end my suffering? Then Shiv Baba says, no, I come take your body on loan and I pay you back for that. And what is the payment that Baba gives for taking Brahma Baba's body on loan? So Shiv Baba ensures that he plays his whole Sangam Yugi part with Brahma Baba. Even when Brahma Baba becomes an angel, Shiv Baba comes with Brahma Baba and descends in Dadi Gulzar's body. So the Avyakt part also was played with Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba, Baap Dada. So Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba together descended into Dadi Gulzar's body and spoke because Brahma Baba said that, because Shiv Baba said that I took your body on loan, so for this whole Sangam Yuga, I and you will be together. So you will go back with me and I will not leave you before that. That is the payment that Shiv Baba gives to Brahma Baba. But Shiv Baba says, other than that, I will not intervene in your karmic journey. Whatever suffering you have today is a product of your own karma. And until and unless you settle your karma with yoga power and accurate action, how do you settle karmic accounts? By being yog yukt and by being yukti yukt. So when you are yog yukt, when you are in remembrance of Baba, then you are in a very elevated state. You are in a state where you are full of virtues and powers, because Baba is the ocean of virtues, ocean of powers. And in that state, whatever comes in front of you is not a big deal, because you are more powerful than the scene of the drama, or you are more powerful than the scene of karmic settlement. So, when you have money, it doesn't pinch you to pay back your debts. Similarly, when you have soul power, when you are in remembrance of Baba and you have accumulated soul power, the power of good wishes, blessings, the power of knowledge, the power of spiritual powers, the power of virtues, when you have all of that, when you are in peace, your heart is full of love and joy, and you have tolerance and you have discernment, and then you understand what's going on with clarity, there is no why, what, then the situation doesn't look like a big deal. You can cross you, and when it doesn't make you afraid, when it is not able to scare you, when it is not able to upset you, then half your karmic settlement is over. Because when a karmic settlement comes up, the first thing happens is you are afraid and you are upset and you lose your spirit, you lose your zeal and enthusiasm, you lose your you lose your confidence that you can cross this. So that is the first thing that Baba gives us through yoga power. And then Baba gives us what we say the yukti yukt state. What is the yukti yukt state? Accurate action. And whenever there is a karmic settlement that comes up, you have to do something about it. So first thing is, you are not threatened by it. You are very comfortable, you are very secure, you are in an elevated state, you are not disturbed by it. And then second thing is, you get the touching, your intellect is so refined that you get the right touching of what to do at this time. For example, let's say there's a disease in the body and it's a karmic settlement, then You will not be afraid of the disease, you will not be scared of the illness, you will be in absolute peace and stability despite the diagnosis that has come in front of you. And then second thing, you will have the accurate discernment to decide on what medication to take, which doctor to see, which hospital to go to, how to get this. So do you know that when there is a medical issue, there are very many decisions that have to be taken, and making those right decisions when there is a medical issue is a big deal. And if you are able to arrive at the right decisions regarding which hospital, which doctor, which course of treatment, because again, even the doctor will suggest you the course of treatment and you have to make the decision. So when you are able to do all of that, then that illness, you will be able to deal with that illness in a much smoother way than you would otherwise. And instead of aggravating the karmic account, you will settle it. So Baba says, I give you the strength and the accuracy of intellect to deal with the karmic account. And when you are able to do that, then you will settle your own karmic accounts. Then another thing Baba says is, sometimes children have this complaint with Baba that, Baba, since you know the future, why didn't you warn me in advance? So Baba knows what the future holds. So children say that, Baba, you could have told me in advance that this was going to happen, so then I would not go there or do that thing. Yes? But Baba says, no. If you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, that's also karmic settlement. And you, in order to be at the right place at the right time, you need to accumulate yoga power, power of good wishes. You need to make that effort for yourself. And I remember, there was this one incident where there was a sister in the center and she was doing seva in a village. And in that village, there was a lot of animosity in people's hearts because they thought, these people are teaching celibacy and then they will create problems. And they had a lot of anger in their hearts. And then they planned to corner this sister one day and, maybe abuse her, beat her, whatever. They had some plan in mind. And then this sister, she was invited very lovingly. Yes, so they set the trap and she was invited very lovingly. And then she thought that she's going for some seva and she went there. And then, the moment she discovered that this is what's going on and the people who have called do not have good intentions, then there was one brother who appeared very magically from somewhere. And then he dealt with the whole, chaos there and he rescued the sister. So now you see, the sister is in Baba's seva, she's samarpit. So she did not say, tell Baba that, Baba, why didn't you tell me in advance that this was going to happen? Because Baba says, even if you come and become samarpit, you still have karmic settlements, right? And those karmic settlements will come up as unfavorable situations, physical illnesses, they will come up as unfavorable environments and people who are against you and all of this stuff. But then what will come to your rescue is the yoga you have done, is the knowledge you have acquired, is the good wishes you have earned, and those good wishes will give you, timely help also in these kind of situations. So Baba says, your own effort will make you settle your karmic accounts. I will not do it directly for you. But if you make effort, you will have the wisdom, you will have the accuracy of intellect, you will have the strength, and you will also have the help to settle those karmic accounts. Okay? Om Shanti.